So I have put together a top 10 list of the best units in the game. I've made this after I took a look at the recent update units and my old top 10 tier lists. And from that, I've made a pretty good list, I would say. And I mean, let's just get right into it. I don't want to drag it out or anything. There is like one unit on this list that I don't have, so I'll have to like use some pictures. But besides that, I have every unit that I need to show for y'all. And one last thing before we start, I am not including limited units. So someone like, I don't even think Rimuru should be on this, but someone like Rimuru is not on here. Nightmare Luffy is not on here. Alucard, you know, Dio, those guys are limited, so I'm not going to be putting them on the list. That is basically it though, so let's just get into it. So in the number 10 spot, this might come as a shock, but if we're ranking the best units, sure, this is not like the best DPS unit or anything, but look at this freeze. Look how long these guys are like frozen for. I think this is kind of crazy, the freeze on this unit. I think it has to be in top 10 just because, look, bro, they didn't even move. I can just keep replacing, freezing the new ones, and yeah, bro, they are frozen for so long. And that is just a frostbite. On top of that, she does do freeze. The thing from her when they get close, it's actually just frostbite, but she has freeze on top of that. But the reason she's like only number 10, even though she's so crazy as a support, is because there is a better version of this, and you probably know who it is. But yeah, I think there is definitely a better version of this that is even more broken, who is a lot higher on the list. But yeah, let's just keep upgrading. This is level 67 without skill tree, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't really use her. For hard stages, I can see why you would bring support, but I usually just bring a bunch of damage just because the scaling in this game is little. I don't know, man. But for newer players, I think this unit is gonna help you out so much, because story can get hard to get through as a new player, and it's not like her damage is terrible. Like if we max her here, 26 million, that is basically the reason she is here. So let's just get to number 9. So it might seem weird again that I have another unit in the top 10 that's under leveled because I don't really use it, but that is because I am like end game in this game. You know, I get every unit, every update for the update videos. So I don't really have like a need for this unit. Sometimes I will bring it, sometimes I can think of bringing it, but then I realize it's under leveled and I just kind of forget about it. But this unit is actually really good. Like if you just started the game, I know I said this on the last one, but if you just started the game, this might be the best unit for you. This unit is insane for new players, and even late game it's still used for some teams like Nature. Now Nature did just get corrupted Zamasu. I do still think corrupted Zamasu is more of an infinite, so I think Senjimaru has more use for a cavern like Nature Cavern than corrupted Zamasu. But yeah, let's quickly go over the upgrades. It's nothing too crazy. She gets a little expensive here later on, pretty expensive, but you know, it's caverns, you're gonna be using it for, you're gonna have money, this is fine. She's gonna, like this level 22, she's gonna have a lot more damage, plus it's gonna be 4x. But the thing is, there is another unit like her that came out this latest update, Goku Black, and he is better early game. Now I don't have these units, so I can't really like show them next to each other, but he is really cheap to like place, and the first few upgrades, even like later on, he's still pretty cheap to upgrade. So he is gonna be a lot better for early game, but Needle Queen is like pretty good for early game, but also really good late game. And late game, Goku Black kind of falls off, but I do think early game is more important. That's why I have Goku Black above her. If we pull up the DPS chart here on the side, I can quickly pull that up for y'all. So you can see here on the list that around top 20, I think it is, around top 20 we should have Goku Black, right? Yeah, top 24. And this guy is so cheap to max. That is why he's so good for like any point of the game. Now maybe we can find Senjimaru here with glitch, see how far down she is compared to him. Okay, I can't find Senjimaru, bro. This thing is so hard to use. Not use, but like it's so hard to find the unit you want to find. But yeah, he is like a lot better for early game, and Senjimaru is better for a late game. But yeah, that's enough of these two. They are really close, but let's just get to number 7. Alright, we should have enough money now for the number 7 unit on the list, and it is Aizen. Now you might think Aizen should be higher, you might think he should be lower, and I can see arguments for both. This guy is an infinite unit only, basically. Now the thing is, you can just place this guy down right away and he applies pressure. Pressure is a really good debuff that slows and buffs damage. It is really good. I'm not really sure if it's still broken. I think it was broken for a while, but I don't think it is anymore. And you can just constantly see his damage going up, because for every kill he gets what 0.2% damage, and he maxes out at 300, so he basically gets 4 times damage. So if we max him out here, he's doing 107 million, and this is with the crit range skill tree every 6 seconds. I do have max skill tree and stuff, so yeah, that is why he may look a lot better than the other units. But he is also just an infinite unit. Like, he is not even maxed out in damage right now. I don't know why his damage isn't going up. It was before, and now it just suddenly stopped. But yeah, he is crazy, bro. He is crazy for infinites, and the latest infinite is sadly green element, so he's not really that good for that. He is still good, but not like crazy. But for the Soul Society infinite, when he came out, he was type effective like his element, so he was insane at that. But yeah, it is mainly an infinite unit, and you know, for the godly, every time we get a new godly, the godly quest will also have the thing about getting to wave 100 on Nightmare, and Aizen is a really good way to just do that easily. So let's just move on to number 6. Okay, so I actually thought there was only one unit, the Goku Black, that I was missing, but I forgot that I also used my Zamasu to get the corrupted Zamasu Evo, and normal Zamasu, the first Evo, actually is in my top 6. Like, this guy is actually crazy. I quickly want to put up a screenshot here. Credits to Blamspot for his video on the showcase. This unit is just insane for the cost. Like, he is crazy. He is the second best DPS in the game. If we pull up the DPS chart right here, you can see, sure, Corrupted Zamasu is above him, but Corrupted Zamasu costs so much more to max. This guy right here, the first Evo, is so cheap to max, and he does insane DPS for the cost. He doesn't do like any, status effects, but his DPS is just so insane. It's better than Aizen. Aizen is full AoE, of course, so he has a lot more AoE DPS, but like Aizen also costs so much more. And Sanjiwoo, he takes like 2 years to get to that passive damage. Nightmare Luffy is limited, so he's not going to be on the list, plus he has line AoE and stuff. So this unit, overall, you could consider this the best unit in the game if you only think about DPS. You could. Now, I think there's a lot more to the game than just DPS, because bosses can be hard, but I think early game is a little harder. And he's not even bad early game, but he is not hyper on placement. He only gets that a little later on. But yeah, this unit is insane. I think everyone should get a extra one after getting the corrupted one. I will definitely be looking out for Zamasu banners and getting another one, because I didn't know he was that good until like today. So yeah, I think this guy is worth just keeping. I think you should get 2 Zamasus, one for the corrupted, one for just use. Yeah, since I don't have him, I don't want to spend too much time on him. Let's just get to number 5. Okay, so you might be shocked at seeing this in number 5, but this is a good unit, but man, these infinite only units just, sure, they look good when they're maxed, but it's so expensive. I think there's more useful units in this game than just infinite units. And this guy is doing really good damage. If we just, without the passive here, let's put him over here, because every 50 kills, he gets a damage buff. So let's just see his base without it. He is level 85 with Overlord, no skill tree. And you know, it's not too bad so far. Like, you can get the full AoE for like 200k, where it's still, that is like decently cheap in this game. That's just 3 waves of a max farm. But this is, yeah, he 1.25 million, and in like overall he costs nearly 2 million to max. He is pretty expensive. But for base damage, this is without his passive. He doesn't have a cap. There is no cap to this passive. He can just get stronger and stronger and stronger, which is what makes him so insane. Now this final judgment, I'm not really sure what it does exactly. I've heard it does like 80 billion damage to enemies, normal enemies, and then it takes like 10% off of their boss's HP or something. I don't know, it's a bit confusing. I'm not really sure what it's about, but how the hell did he do that? How did he kill over there when he's full AoE? Does he have like a circle and a full AoE at the same time or something? Look, when he attacks here, it kills all the way over here. Okay, I think he has a full AoE and a circle at the same time for some reason. That's really weird. But let's just move on to the top 4. Alright, so number 4, this is the last one before we get into the godlies. In my opinion, for every ungodly unit or like non-godly unit, as you would say. In this game, I think this is the most useful. This slow is just so insane. Half of the time, this game is bugged and the slow doesn't work. But when it does work, this unit is so crazy. Like, the slow is just insane. But yeah, the damage is okay. It's not terrible. For dark stages, his damage is really good because, you know, it's 4x damage. But like for anything else, I'll still bring him because, you know, his infinity is so OP. Like, look at how slow they are, bro. This is actually insane. They're so slow. And, you know, right now it's only Gojo hitting them. But in a real game, they would be this slow with every unit placed down, just hitting them. And you get the infinity on placement. You can replace Gojo, just slow them again after they get out of infinity. That is just insane. But yeah, you know, 40 million every 6 seconds, that's not terrible. It's with the crit range skill tree. I picked that because the more range, the bigger the infinity. And we won't have enough to max him here. I mean, I guess I could wait a few waves, but it doesn't really matter. You can see the damage here. It's not really gonna make a difference. Actually, no, infinity gets a huge boost, I can see. So let's quickly get that. Okay, so at max, you can see, yep, it gets a even bigger upgrade. And yeah, I'm not really sure if there's a better trait for him. Maybe all seeing has more range. I'm not really sure. But the thing is, he does a time stop too. We can quickly do it every 25 seconds. That's if you're in free X speed. And the time stop lasts like okay, like decently long. Pretty good though. You can just spam it over and over again. You can put it on auto. And he does also have a nuke. It's not a crazy nuke. It's like 7.5 billion, but it's something. It's like a little extra. But that is basically the 10 to 4 places. And now we're getting into the godlies who are just on another level. Of course, Dio is not here because he is limited. And all godlies are good. There's a reason I put all in top 3. There's a reason they're all on the top of this list. Just because one of them is at 3rd doesn't mean they're a bad unit or anything. I just think the other godlies are more useful. So I think most people are gonna agree with this. Even though Sukuna is such a great unit, he is still number 3 on the list. He's not bad at all. I just have the other godlies above him. If he was hybrid here, he would probably be number 1, I'm not gonna lie. But on placement, he is ground only. He does get hybrid, but he turns into a circle. And he does do electrified. I mean, everyone has used Sukuna. Everyone knows how good he is. He's not really that expensive until like here. And this damage is not bad at all. But if we keep upgrading, you can see he ends off at like over 100 million now. No, the dot takes a while to load, like go in and stuff, and you're not gonna get the dot every hit, but it's still pretty crazy. He does even have 2 nukes. Well, one is 3 billion if I'm not mistaken, so it's kind of a nuke, I guess, but 3 billion is really not that crazy. And the other one is 10 billion, which is also not really that crazy, but you know, it's something. But yeah, I mean, there's not much for me to say about this guy. He is a godly unit. There's a reason he's in the top 3, and if you want to put him above some of the other godlies, I don't blame you. I think it's fair. He is kind of underrated. Like, I know he's a godly, but people kind of forget he exists. But yeah, there's not much else to say about this guy. Let's just move on to number 2. All right, again, it's a top 2 unit. It's still not a bad unit. I just think there is one godly that I would prefer using over this for most stuff. But godly Ichigo, really good unit. Does black flames, which I'm not really a big fan of most of the time, but they did it pretty well on this guy. Now, I know you need like a 10-second SPA on the last upgrade because black flames takes 10 seconds to, you know, get used, but I've actually never seen what SPA my Ichigo has. I've never maxed this guy before myself. Of course, I have seen showcases and stuff, but yeah, he's actually, okay, he is kind of expensive, but yeah, he is on 11.7 seconds and he is doing a lot of damage. He is just good damage. His leader skill is, it got really nerfed, like it half his damage. So his leader skill is kind of useless now. But the thing is, he also does buff here. But I would definitely say Pride's leader skill is a lot better. I don't have much to say about this guy. This is probably the guy most people are using right now. Everyone has seen him. He is like the newest godly, right? Him or Dio. I don't remember the order. I think it's him. But yeah, everyone has used this guy a lot recently. So everyone knows why he's good and stuff. So yeah. And let's just move on to the number 1 spot, which should be obvious. Alright, so the last unit on the list. I know I've been kind of quick with these godlies. There's not much I can say. But last one, I have Pride. This guy just has insane placement damage. And overall, overall, like, he gets full AoE decently quick, like 66k. He gets full AoE, and after that, you've basically won the game. And you can just keep upgrading him, and he has good DPS. He's just insane. Yeah, everyone has used Pride a lot, and you can see how big this range with the full AoE is. If you want to switch the godlies around, I don't blame you. If you want to have Ichigo at first, if you want to have like Sukuna in second or something, I think it's fair. This guy personally is just, in my opinion, the most useful. I think he's more useful than Ichigo even. I just love this unit so much. I don't know why, I just really like it. And that is basically the list. I don't have much to say about Pride. Everyone knows what he does. He doesn't have a passive or anything. He just, well, he does, but you know, he increases damage until wave 15, but you don't actually have to place him on wave 1. You can just place him on wave 15 and he's maxed out. There's not anything too special about him. He's just really good. But that is basically the list. I don't have much to say about the godlies again because, you know, everyone has used them a lot. There's nothing too special about them. There's a reason, like, it's obvious they're top 3. They're godlies, so I don't really need to explain myself much. But I hope you guys do find this video helpful, and I hope you did also enjoy it. Thank you guys for watching.